too much.
This boy needs a trim.
Hey, it's Nicky the How. I don't know if you can tell here, but I got quite the brambly mess of beard going on here. Not ideal in the summer months. It's pretty hot, pretty itchy. Certainly doesn't look sharp. So today I'm going to be showing you how I do one of my favorite facial hair trimmings and styles, the Gleason. So first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to do a little shampoo and condition of the beard because nobody wants to trim a dirty beard. Anyone with a beard knows you don't want to trim a dirty beard. Just don't want to. So you're going to want to get wet hands and you're going to want to just kind of wet the beard for the shampoo. Shampoo I've found works best when wet. The mustache too. Want to get a lot of water in there. Some people do this in the shower. So once you got it nice and wet, you're gonna get a little shampoo. Just a little dollop will do. You're gonna wanna just lather that in. Start to really lather that in. You know, it's very wiry. You're gonna want to get a really deep scrub. You're gonna need a little more for the mustache. So while I'm working on my deep scrub, some of you may be wondering, hey, why is it called a Gleason? Funny story. Some years back when I was going to college, I lived in a house with some friends, my roommates, and one night we found a man passed out in our hallroom closet. He must have had a wild night. We did not know the man, but sure enough, we found him sound asleep. After not being able to wake him by traditional methods, we had to splash water in his face, to which he awoke abruptly. This is a true story, this is no fib. It was quite the thrilling experience getting him out of the house, trying to explain to him where he was, but eventually he left his cell phone, of course, so we had quite the adventure getting that back to him. Aside from all that, what I really noticed about the guy was his facial hair. He had this nice clean stubble with a big mustache. I said, that's a pretty sharp look. I think I'd like to go for something like that. And this guy's name was Richard Gleason, and sure enough, that's been my go-to hairstyle ever since. That kind of dry bath technique isn't working so well, but it's cleaner than it was. Actually, a little more will probably be good. Don't eat the shampoo. So I think that's pretty clean, but that'll do for now. So next we'll condition. So you're gonna want to rinse this out. I have a wet rag here. Like I said, the shower. Ugh, what a mess. The shower would do a better job, but this will at least get some of that, just a little of that shampoo out. Yeah, that's looking good. And while you still got some moisture, I think this is a good opportunity to get some conditioner. You don't need much conditioner. They don't tell you that. It's one of those less is more sort of deals. Have a light scrub in. You don't want to do it too hard with the conditioner, otherwise you'll really irritate the skin. Yeah. I think that's about all you need for the conditioner. It looks pretty conditioned to me. We're gonna go ahead and wipe out the conditioner with that same rag that we used for the shampoo. Yep. It comes right out. Really gotta make sure you get all those suds out, all the conditioner, and it smells fresh, it smells good, it must be clean. So once you get it all out, you see, try and find a dry part of the rag, because you're also going to want the beard to be dry, otherwise the trim is going to be a lot more difficult. You're going to just want to dry that beard. Alright, so now the beard is nice and clean, it smells great, but there's still going to be some particulates in there, and you're going to want to get those out if you want a good trim. Got here a little beard brush. It's a three-pronged beard brush. You're just going to want to a light brush. It's nice and fine, and most of the particulates are not even visible to the naked eye, but you're really going to want to make sure you get every single one of them out of there. You're going to want to spend a good few minutes on this. So I think that's, that must be good enough. So move on to the next step, the trim. So what I use is a beard trimmer, and what I use is the number 3 9mm extension. That's been doing it well for me for years. Clip that right on and we'll get to trim it. Sometimes good to lay down something because it can get a little messy, but we'll get going here. And you're just going to want to trim all the beard. Leave the mustache, we'll take care of that later. Everything sideburns down, above the neck, let's trim it. Let's do a good trim. You're gonna get a lot of this buildup. Make sure to put that off to the side. Sometimes it's good to have a little trash bin or something. This is a messy process. I find it's best to really try and stretch the face when you're getting the trim. That way you get every single hair. Don't forget the neck. A lot of people forget the neck. Big mistake. Don't forget the neck. Get under the mustache. A lot of people forget about right under the mustache. You know, you can kind of lift the hair and really get the sideburns. You want it all to be even. Don't forget to clear the hair out of there. It builds up quick. I used to mow a lot of lawns. Trimming beards kind of like mowing the lawn of the face. What a mess. Should have laid down a towel. One of the trickiest sections right here at the side chin. You got the wrong kind of head shape like me. Some people, you know, there's the whole against the grain or with the grain debate, and I always say, what grain? You know, what are we? I'm not cutting bread here. I'm trimming a beard. This is already starting to develop into quite a nice Gleason. And don't be hasty, you know. Take your time, do a good job. Where do you have to be? I have some hair in my mouth. Whoa. Don't want that to happen. If you're trying to clean up the neckline, you can take the extension off. Kind of line it up, get it even right around the neck. Yeah. Doesn't need to be perfect. No one's looking at your neck. Usually got to go back for about, you know, when you paint a house, you got to do a few coats. I think I'm getting pretty darn close. I missed a spot. I think that's looking pretty darn good. So next up, as you can see, the mustache is still pretty uneven and scraggly. So we're going to want to trim up the mustache too, but you don't want to trim too much. You still want to have the mustache. These are your basic sort of elementary school scissors. They're not the kindergarten ones that are like plastic that don't even cut paper. These are metal, so they are for adults. Mustache. So basically, I don't know for other people with mustaches, sometimes I eat a sandwich and then my mustache hairs go in with the bread and I bite and then it pulls my mustache hairs. That's a good way to ruin your sandwich. So I just like to kind of go kind of along the lip with the in mind that if I was to eat a sandwich, would I be eating my mustache? And you want to make sure the answer is no. And now I'm gonna make it even. These little guys are pretty good. It's actually looking pretty good. It's actually turning into a pretty good Gleason. I'm gonna want to see which is longer, that thing that hair cutters do. Make sure it's even. It's like I missed a spot. You can do any mustache style that you want. The cool thing about it, there's a lot of flexibility there. A lot of people grow different kinds of mustaches. I just go for the typical mustache. And that's looking pretty good. Make sure to be very careful. You don't want to cut your lip or face. That's very important. That's a good way to ruin a Gleason. That's looking pretty good. Feeling pretty good. So now that we're nice and trim, we'll move to the next step. I bet you thought we were done. No, not even close. The next step is season the Gleason. Very important step for when you go out if you want to really be looking fresh and smelling fresh too. So you can season your Gleason whatever way you like. Some people like different sorts of smells and things. Pumpkin spice in the fall, gingerbread in the around the holidays. Really whatever you want. But these summer months, this is kind of the season I like to go with. So I like to do just a little lemon zest. Just gonna get a little bit in my hand here. You don't need much. Ooh, it smells fresh. It's pretty sour. So can you see that zest there? It's kind of got some hair on my hands still. There's some of that zest. You rub it in both your hands. You don't want to rub it. The acid will get into your pores and that won't do you any good. Ooh, yeah, that smells fresh. So you got the lemon. So after the lemon, next thing I like to do is crystal. I had this on the windowsill for about a week, pulling in the solar energies, and we recently had a full moon, so this also is going to have some lunar energy. So what you're just going to want to do is sort of some light rolls into the Gleason. And some people don't really believe in this, but when I've You know, I used to not do this, but now when I walk down the street, people really look at the Gleason. I think it's because it's giving off those sort of crystal energies. You know, I notice the difference when I use the crystal. Let's just put it that way. If you don't have a crystal, yeah, you can find them outdoors. Oh yeah, I can feel that energy. It's a little irritating on the skin, but I think that's pretty good. Next, this is kind of, people usually don't think of doing this. The black pepper scent is really in right now, so you're gonna wanna have some fresh ground peppers. Grind that right in your hand. If you cannot do fresh ground, don't bother. Just put it that way. You need to do it fresh ground. So got that in my hands, you're gonna wanna rub. Whew, it's spicy. Once again, you're not gonna wanna rub as much. What you wanna do is kind of slap it in. Ooh, it sort of hurts in the nostrils. It is gonna give a really nice lasting scent to your Gleason. Little in the mustache, not much. The mustache is below the nose. You're not gonna want to put too much pepper in your mustache for obvious reasons. So it's smelling good already. It's like kind of a lemon crystally black pepper scent. The last set, you're gonna want a little animal spit on either side. You can do cat, you can do dog. Some people have reptiles. I don't know if they have spit. They got something. If you don't have a pet, you can go out and find a wild animal, maybe a wild horse or something like that. A little bit of that really kind of helps you Gleason to shine in the summer months. Just a little bit on either side, and you'll really notice the difference. You're just gonna want to get a little bit on each side. You'll really see that glow coming in. Make sure to get an even coat on the left and right side. Perfect. Thank you, Snow. Alright, so that's the final touch. I'm calling this Gleason complete. It's not the best Gleason I've done, but it's definitely up there. Last thing to mention, you're going to want to clean your bathroom really well. There's a lot of this kind of stuff lying around. You'll be happy you shampooed it before, let's just put it that way. Just throw it away, or put it in your garden. Helps the weeds grow. Hopefully that was helpful and you give a Gleason a try yourself. I'd say tune in next time. I'll show you a different facial hairstyle, but this is really the only one I do. Grow it out, Gleason, grow it out, Gleason, grow it out, Gleason. It's all I do, and it really is all you should do. This one goes out to Richard Gleason. Thank you for your style. Simple, it's fresh, it's fun. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so ready to go out there and pardon me. Ooh, sorry.